you and I have a similar story in that we were working on this financial corporate BS, and which was incongruent with what we wanted, and it killed us a little bit, right? Or a lot, or almost literally killed us in certain ways. You and I both have probably some similar close calls when it comes to this. And there are people right now that are going to be listening or watching this, and I strongly encourage you to look at what you're doing now and the rationalizations that you make in your head that say, well, I'm only going to do this for a few years. You know, when I was an attorney on Wall Street, I remember going, I'm going to do this for 2 to 4 years, and then I'm going to do what I really want to do, whatever that might be. I have no idea what that is. That is dangerous. That will kill you slowly, and you won't see it coming. Like if right now we picked up some kid who was in film school and said, look, that's not going to happen for you for a while. You need to work at Taco Bell. He'd punch us in the face, and rightfully so, right? Or, hey, look, I know you want to be an accountant. You should do this other horrible, horrible thing that you hate, but you're only going to have to do it for 4 years. He'd scream in your face. He would run away from you. But us, we slowly boil ourselves. These, you know, the boiling frog analogy.
Yeah.
I was more than willing to go, Wall Street is killing me, but 4 years, make some money, pay off my student loans, which, by the way, I got so I was qualified for that job that I hated, and then just do this slowly. That will kill you. It's not because you're not fulfilling your purpose. It's not because of your lack of meaning, or I should say, it's not just because of your lack of meaning. It's because when you're doing that, you think you're figuring out things that you want later, but it's getting further and further away from you. And then you start doing things like golden handcuffs, where you're buying things to make yourself happy. And then by the time you think you're ready to leave, or by the time you just can't take it anymore, you already bought a house, a car, a freaking boat or something, and you can't leave unless you make that similar standard of living. And my inbox, where I answer all these listener questions, is full of people going, well, I can't downgrade my lifestyle by leaving my corporate job and starting my shiny dog manufacturing business. I can't do that. That's a problem, because that debt, those golden handcuffs, that limits your freedom. And then suddenly you wake up and you're 35 and you've got a family, and you would be irresponsible to start doing something that you love doing without being able to support them. So right now is kind of the best time, whatever time in your life this is the best time to cut those ties and start to do what you need and want to do. Because it's not going to get easier as those tentacles grow around you. Yeah, as those vines grow around you.
It's almost like having like an addictive, substance in you.
Yes.
You can't walk away from it. And it's one thing about the Taco Bell job, the guy would punch you in the face if he was in film school, but if you say you're going to be a lawyer or a banker, you can say that to your mom and your friends, and they're that has cachet.
Yeah. And
that does play a part of how we interact with this culture and our own self-esteem, and that can be an even better lie. And once you're in the inside of a law firm, you realize that it's okay. There's some work there, and there's some interesting things there, but it's also, a boiler room.
Yeah.
And it's like a
sweatshop.
A sweatshop. Yeah. And again, people think this is crazy, but I know guys in banking that are like, Brian, I can't leave, and they're making millions of pounds a year, and they can't leave because they would go broke. They got the houses, the cars, 2 ex-wives, kids in private school, and they look at me and they're like, I could never do what you do. And this is good advice from you. Look at your life and don't do this short-term thing, because it will kill you. Mm-hmm. And again, my latest movie, Iron Mind, 9 years in banking, I was slowly grinding myself into an alcoholic, depression, a life where I didn't really have any contact with anybody, and I was just not happy. But I told myself I was happy because, look, I'm making the money, I'm going on the vacations, and I actually convinced myself I was happy.
Well, there's nothing really wrong with that on its face, right? Like, you didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, you rationalized this process, but you had a lot of help, right? There's no shortage of people that are going to look at a successful lawyer or investment banker and go, well, you're doing the right thing. You're not supposed to love what you do. And in many cases, that's fine. It's fine to not love every second of your job as long as you find purpose or meaning elsewhere. But it is bad news for you if you really hate it. You're looking forward to that first drink of the day every single day. And whether that comes at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. sort of depends on how many years you've been in the game, right? That's the problem. So there are plenty of people that are watching this that are like, I love being a banker. It's great. I love what I'm doing. I always, in fact, envied those people a little bit. You ever get that boss who's like, they're just geeking out on derivative finance, and you're going, this guy loves this stuff and is printing money. I would love to be that guy. But for me, I'm just thinking, how much longer do I have to sit here and listen to this person talk before I can go do life? Yeah. And I'm in that office for 7 days a week. So what it is it's not just quit your job or figure out what you're going to do, what you got to live your purpose. I don't believe in any of that. I really don't. I think you can find purpose and meaning, which are two different things, in pretty much anything that you're doing. What you should fight is the rationalization that says, well, I'm just going to do this for a little while even though I don't like it. Or I don't hate everything about this, so let me focus on what I do love, and maybe one day I'll find a way out of this. That hope is not a strategy at all.